Hey everybody, I'm Noah with Extreme Terrain, and I'm going to show you how to choose the right exhaust system for your Tacoma equipped with the 3.5 liter V6. Now, if you've been shopping around for an exhaust, you've probably noticed that there's tons of systems out there and they're all a little different. There's a lot of factors that go into choosing an exhaust, so together we're going to go over several exhaust options for the Tacoma and explain the differences between them. And hopefully by the end of this video, you'll know what type of system is right for you. So let's jump right into it and start by checking out how some exhausts sound and why they sound the way they do. The first factor you're going to want to have a good grasp on is the volume of the system you're shopping for and the tone they provide and why they provide that sound and tone. Now, exhausts can range from mild and kind to the ears or to hurt your ears loud, and pretty much all of that comes down to the muffler design. There's a few different styles of mufflers out there, and each style provides a different result. I'm going to go over the 3 most common muffler types and talk about what makes them sound like they do, so you'll have an easy time figuring out what system is a good fit for you. I'm going to start by showing you a small canister muffler with a louvered core, and a good example that utilizes one like that is the Carbon Exhaust Progressive Series single exhaust system with a black tip and side exit. Now here's what this system sounds like. This muffler is designed to give a clean, crisp, and deep rumble that really brings out the grunt of that 3.5 liter motor without a high-pitched edge, and it can't be heard a ton in the cab, and it doesn't have any drone. Now this guy is going to fall at a 2 out of 5 on the Wake the Neighbor scale, and it's going to be very friendly on the daily drive or cruising at a steady RPM on the highway. So why does it sound like that? Well, the muffler on this guy is still straight through, but the pipe that passes through the canister is louvered rather than just the usual regular perforation that most canister mufflers have. Canister mufflers in general are packed with a type of fiberglass that absorbs the sound as it passes through the holes on the inner tube, and the sound gets caught in the canister. The perforations in that inner tube are usually really small so that less noise can make its way into the canister and get silenced. But with Carbon's muffler, it actually has louvers instead of perforations, and they're very large and encourage more air to flow into the canister, resulting in more noise getting absorbed. Now that means you're still getting the performance gains from a high flow muffler that's straight through, but most of that edge gets chopped off with a lot of air getting forced into the packing inside the chamber. On to the second muffler type, a large canister with regular perforations. Now a great example to check out is the AFE Mach-Force XP 3-inch single exhaust system with black tips and a side exit. Check out how this guy sounds in this sound clip. This system is going to have an aggressive, deep tone that's going to get some attention with its 3 out of 5 score on the Wake the Neighbor scale. A large canister muffler with the typical small perforations in that inner tube is going to be a bit more raw than the last one we looked at. This will still be manageable on the daily commute, and you'll still get some noise in the cab, but not enough to be annoying. Now, this muffler has a similar design to the Carbon in that there's a large canister packed with fiberglass and the pipe passes straight through it. But the Mach-Force system is going to get rid of a lot less sound because the perforations that the sound can pass through are much smaller than that louvered core alternative. Now subsequently, less air going into the canister means less noise getting cut off. I would still personally rock this exhaust system every day, but this is about as far as most people would want to go in terms of volume on their daily. Then lastly, we're going to check out the third style, race mufflers. The Flowmaster Outlaw Extreme single exhaust system with a black tip and a turn down has a race muffler, and here's what the Outlaw sounds like. We're looking at a 5 out of 5 on the Wake the Neighbor scale with this one, and that little guy packs a serious punch like you just heard a second ago. The Flowmaster Outlaw is a race muffler, or it's sometimes referred to as a bullet style muffler. These mufflers are very unique when you compare them to the last 2 mufflers we looked at, in the fact that they don't have any packing in them at all. They're actually just a straight through design like all the others, but the way they change the sound is a few sound attenuation rings inside the inner tube. They're basically just little dents and dips inside that can modify the volume and tone of the exhaust. So naturally, that means it's going to be much louder. Now this little guy just takes the harsh, unpleasant edge off, and that's about it. It's really designed to be for off-road applications and race applications only, but it is legal on the street. You'll just have a lot of drone, especially at highway speeds. I'm just gonna be blunt, this will not be kind to your ears on the daily commute to the office, but I'm sure it will be entertaining still, so if you're into loud and proud and you really want to hear the exhaust in the cab as much as possible, a system with a race muffler like the Outlaw is a perfect choice for you. In my opinion, the biggest and most important factor to consider when you're shopping for an exhaust is the kind of steel that they're constructed from. Now, this is going to pretty dramatically change the price of the exhaust and the hardness and durability of the piping itself. The first material I want to talk to you about is aluminized steel. Aluminized steel is the most affordable material to make exhaust out of, and it's the best material to get loud fast with if you don't have an overly large budget. The MBRP Armor-Lite single exhaust system with a turndown is made from aluminized steel. And aluminized steel systems like the Armor-Lite are still really awesome despite the lower price tag. Really, the only downside is that aluminized steel is not stainless, so it's not going to be quite as durable and rust resistant as some other options we'll go over. Now that's definitely a factor to strongly consider, especially if you live in the Rust Belt area where salt gets dumped on the road all the time. If you're in need of some protection from rust and corrosion, a great fit for you would be a system made from 409 stainless. Now 409 stainless is a very common grade of stainless steel for exhausts, and it does a great job warding off corrosion from the elements and salt. 409 is going to last very long, it's really hard, and it's still an affordable material in the world of stainless steel. The Red Rock stainless steel exhaust system with a polished tip and a side exit is made of 409 stainless. Exhaust systems like this one from Red Rock still tend to fall towards the bottom of the price range, and they're not going to disappoint in the durability department. 409 stainless is a great middle ground between really high-end stainless systems and the budget-friendly aluminized steel systems. If you're looking for the best of both worlds, a system made from 409 is definitely what you're looking for. And then finally, I'm going to talk about 304 stainless steel, which is the top tier grade of steel that exhausts get manufactured out of. 304 is very hard, it will stay polished without corrosion for a long time, and it will withstand some serious abuse from the elements. Really high-end exhausts like the AWE OFG dual exhaust with a bash guard and diamond black tips and the same side exit are made entirely from 304 stainless. Now 304 is the best of the best, and the only real downside is the cost. 304 tends to be a pricey material to make an exhaust out of, but if you're looking for maximum physical performance and longevity out of your new system, 304 stainless steel is definitely what you want to look out for. Moving on to the last few exhausts, we're looking at layout. Lots of systems do the same thing. They're exhausts, obviously, but there's a lot that goes into the route the exhaust takes, where it ends up, and how many pipes there are. Now those factors are all important things to understand, and they can play into your install time and cost when you shop for an exhaust. Let's start off by talking about single exit exhausts. For our example, here's the Flowmaster Flow Effect single exhaust system with a black tip. Here's a clip so you have an idea how it sounds. A single exhaust like this one is a happy medium when it comes to exhaust layout. It's a little bit more time consuming to install compared to the one-piece turndown, but it's still very straightforward and it's only a few pipes. The Flow Effect single exhaust system comes right out behind the passenger rear wheel, and that means you'll still get decent noise in the cab since the exhaust exits right near the window below your ear. That's fine with me though, and again, this is the perfect balance between dumping a system right under the bed or a system that exits from the rear. A single exit system like this one only exits on one side, so you're paying for much less pipe than a dual system like we're talking about next. Next, we're going to talk about dual exhausts. For a great example, here's the MBRP Armor Black dual exhaust system with side exits. Check out how this system sounds. I like the way this one sounds and looks a lot. Now, dual exit systems are kind of self-explanatory, and this one from MBRP in particular has 2 side exits, one on either side. There are a few different variations of dual exhaust, and the 2 most common are going to be dual side exit like this, or dual rear exit, which again is very self-explanatory. Either way, they do the same thing, and they're the best looking system aesthetically in my opinion, but they aren't for everybody. A dual exhaust system is going to tend to be the most expensive out of the 3 main styles because it has the most piping. Also, a dual exit system is going to be the hardest to install because of how many pieces there are. But if you're looking for a dual exhaust, I'm sure those factors are totally worth it for you, and you're in it to see the 2 tips, which I totally get. Last, I want to talk about a turn down style exhaust. And a great example of one is the MBRP Armor Plus single exhaust system with a turn down. Let's watch a clip of what this guy sounds like. A system like this is going to create some serious sound and vibration in the cab, and a lot more than other styles will. That's because a turn down like this one dumps the exhaust right under the bed rather than bringing the exhaust out the back or to the side. Now, this style is great for off-roading fanatics that want excellent ground clearance. When an exhaust runs out the back under the bumper or behind the wheel, it takes up space and it can bang and get caught against the ground and ruin your departure angle. Now, a turn down like this one from MBRP just tucks nicely between the frame rails and it stays up and out of the way. Also, this is a super short exhaust. Less pipe means less price. So if you're looking to get loud on a budget and not to mention an easy install, a turn down tends to be a go-to for a lot of people. Hopefully now you're confident in what to look for when you shop for an exhaust for your 3.5 liter Tacoma. So what's your favorite exhaust setup? Let me know in the comments, and if you liked this video, go ahead and show us that you did by liking the video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for lots of other awesome content, and for all things Tacoma, keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.